I must go down to the seas again, to the lonely sea and the sky.
So it's dark 30. It's 5 to 6 in the morning. So I've got a 7-hour cruise to get to Malibu, and in 7 hours the Malibu crossing will be slack because I don't want to go through there in a flood tide. So I've got to leave my complicated little dock. It's not complicated, just there's a big rock right out there and I got to go around that, but the GPS will tell me where that is, but it won't tell me where the logs are or any other things. But it's coming up to twilight at 6:30-ish, and I should be able to make basic things going around. So now I'm getting the boat ready in the dark. Step one is to take this thing off, and that goes over the side. There's another one. The whole thing comes off normally with 2 hands, but let's see what I can do. All right, now down in there is the dipstick, and I've got my paper towel ready to go, and so in I go. Let's try this side. Is the sea strainer. In there you can see this thing. See the water coming out of it? You gotta turn the sea cock off first. Alright. And then inside there's a strainer. And there's some leaves in there. Nothing too much. Okay, put my garbage away that I didn't really need. So I gotta make sure the heater is off, because it needs like a 5-minute shutdown. So it's no lights, so that's good. Engine start procedure. The main battery is good, and it's that's for the engine, and this is the auxiliary lithium, and it's been running all night, keeping the lights on and the furnace running, so that's not bad. So this big knob here decides where the power is going to come from to run the boat on the house batteries. And then this uses both batteries, and then this uses that uses just the engine battery. And the house battery's where it was. The engine battery's down just a little notch. I found the boat keys. Key goes into slot. Now we have to make sure it's in neutral, which it is, and we got to make sure the speed is up just a little bit. And we do this little button here, and you'll see the voltage go down. This is the glow plugs. So we're going to do this for a good 10 seconds. It really likes that. And the glow plugs are little pieces of metal that get really, really hot inside the cylinders when you do this. And it helps the diesel ignite when the engine's cold. I wasn't counting 10 seconds, but that's probably enough. And then Susie comes to life. Okay, that's the best start Susie has ever had. It never starts that easily, but whatever. Okay. Now, the next thing to check is to make sure there's water coming out the back. So that's the water that was going through that sea strainer. Here's all the gauges. See the engine pressure is way up there. The voltage has gone up because the battery's charging now. And the RPM's up. The water temperature isn't up yet because the engine hasn't been running long enough. Now we'll just do a quick check here, because we don't want to get out there and tie the lines and find out the transmission's not working properly. So we'll just do a little bit of forward. Yeah. Do a little bit of reverse. Yeah. Okay, now we have to decide what electronics we want for today. So we're not going to need, we're going to need running lights. Oops. Spinner. Running lights. Cabin lights are good. We're going to need the GPS and the auxiliary autopilot. VHF is the radio. And the knot meter is the furnace. So we're going to turn that off now. it's getting a little bit more twilighty out here, so we can see a little bit better. We can see the edge of the mountains and stuff. It's a lot brighter on camera than it is in real life. Okay, so I've got my chart plotter up, which shows me that rock. I've got my chart plotter that was built into the boat on running, and I have my auto helm all set up. I like to change the mode of this so I can see the depth. So I'm going to go into the menu, which is here, and I go down to radar and fish, enter, and I like the 2, and so I enter. So now I can see I have the dock here, I'm in 52 feet of water. That should be enough. Well, this is a classic video. Everybody does this off the bow, but they do it with a selfie stick and the bow way up there. So I only got the length of my arm. So this is all you get. Should have probably brushed my hair. Oh well. So let's see here, we can do this. And I can look longingly off in the distance at the rocks coming directly towards me. Okay, so the traffic in this place is just crazy. Here's another boat. Oh, hey, now we can start to see the bottom. See the cliff going down. Yeah, it wasn't in the list of required sailing equipment to carry a... No, it's not a carabiner. It's something else. It's things that stick in the cracks. Sophie and Pierre know what it is. You hammer it in there and then you can tie stuff to it like your life. Oh, we're only at 70 feet of depth here. And we get side thruster. We'll go reversed. Port thruster coming in. Okay, we're going to change this to selfie mode. Oh. Need a little bit more juice to get over there. Well, that wasn't on the plan, but anyways. That's fun. Okay, let's get back in here. Okay. And all the time we had like 78 feet of depth. Freaking cool. Traveling up this purple line to 12. And that's the Malibu Rapids. Okay, so this guy's going to become part of the story of this trip. So he was broken down a little earlier, and I came by to see if he needed any help, and he said he had it under control, and I said, okay, see you later. So I guess I've made a friend. He is able to do 5.5 knots, but he's slowed down. And he's going slower than me right now. I think he wants to buddy boat with me. And that's just really nice. That's where we just came through. Nothing to it. Okay. Yeah, that was exciting. So, yeah. When they invented the word majestic, they were standing here. Still the busy season here at Chatterbox Falls. Sailing can be quite the workout. Wow. Okay. So, first time doing a stern tie. Oh, that's a seaplane. We'll get to that in a minute. So, doing a stern tie, it's a case where the shore is really steep. So, right here is 12 feet, where the anchor is 60 feet, and 10 feet from that is 200 feet. So the anchor is sort of on an uphill slope. And if the boat drifts that way, it'll just pull the anchor away. So you've got to keep the boat pulling towards shore. And you do something called a stern tie. So the anchor's off the bow, dragging up a slope,
and the back end's tied to something on shore pulling against the anchor. So we're not waiting for a current or a wind to pull the anchor in. I pull the anchor in from a big tree over there, or rock or whatever, but I have to get a rope from here to there while the boat is drifting that way. Normally this is done with 2 people. I can see why. So anyways, I'll show you how it all worked out here. That's the stern line. There's one of those things that Pierre is going to tell you what it's called. It's stuck in that rock. And the bowline, and my line is going straight to the winch, almost. 80 feet of anchor chain is down there. So 60 feet of it's going to the bottom, and 20 feet's going out. But that's plenty, because I'm pulling it, it's pulling it uphill. So I a bunch of rope to the back of the boat and row a dinghy full of rope all the way over there, which you wouldn't think is a big deal, except that when I had to do that, the boat was way the fuck out there, and I had to try and pull 9 tons of sailboat with this thing, which didn't work. So I had to come back for more rope and more rope and more rope until I could reach the rock. And then I just brought the dinghy back and used the winch to winch in all this rope, and now the boat's where it was when I started with the dinghy. It didn't drift away. I had prepared some more rope, but that's a lesson learned. Don't try and turn a 9-ton sailboat with a 1 human horsepower dinghy. Yeah, that was an adventure and a half. So took out too little rope the first time, and then tried to pull the boat, and that didn't work. So then went back for another piece of rope, and by that time the boat had drifted farther, and then tried to pull it with the 2 pieces of rope. That didn't work. Then I came back for a whole pile of rope, and I could make it easily to the rock, and then I had to pull it all back in. So 3 trips with the dinghy, while everybody over in the fancy yacht land and the seaplanes are over there, all giggling at me, I'm sure. In fact, I think this seagull, if we can see him, can we see him? On that rock. Yeah, there's a seagull on that rock right there. He was laughing at me. I swear he was. And I am more securely anchored than I've ever been in my life. It's fantastic. So I'm going to sleep well tonight. I'm going to spend the night here, maybe another night. And if you can hear in the background, that's the falls. Chatterbox Falls. So yeah, it's pretty spectacular around here. There's just like mountains everywhere. It's incredible. I can see where everybody comes in here. But there's like float planes full of tourists come in. There's got to be one every 10 minutes. Well, they're all gone now. I guess they got to get out of here before the sun goes down. So this one's for Pierre and Sophie. Just get an idea how high these mountains are. So that's my 50-foot mast. So I'm at Chatterbox Falls. I've got to find the falls yet. I don't know where they are. But it was a good day. Sailed along a cliff edge by a foot, and now I'm in Chatterbox Bay here. Stern tied for the first time, single-handed, pretty cool. And there's no room at the wharf, so that's fine. And that's it for today. So pretty wild up here in every sense of the word. So I just hope that soon I'll find those falls. I don't know where they are. They say it's just around the corner, but it's probably some fiddly ass little fall. We'll take a closer look at it tomorrow, and then you can look forward to that. So yeah, Chatterbox Falls. Don't get too excited. It's probably nothing. Yeah, I wouldn't worry about it. We'll get a closer look tomorrow. All right, see you guys later.